His attorney's out smoking a bowl, and we all know why. Yeah, cause Hunter got high. Hunter got high. Hunter got high. He was making 80 G's a month, but Hunter got high. On a job brother ain't never done. Hunter got high. He got more LLCs than John Gotti's ex-wife. Yeah, Hunter got high. Hunter got high. Hunter got high. His cousin was never a pimp till Hunter got high. He had the best friends that money could rent, but Hunter got high. Just imagine if he wasn't rich and so damn white. Yeah, the cops would raid his house, eat his lemon pound cake, disconnect his cameras and steal his money.
Wow. Pure gold on every level, and that is the remix that we deserve and absolutely needed in 2024. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name's Luke Radowski here of wearechange.org, and there's a lot of absolutely wild and crazy news to get in today, as of course it looks like Europe is up in revolt, as it looks like we might be seeing the rise of another populist movement out there that is being supported by MMA superstar Conor McGregor. All of this, as of course we got some new surprising news from Sean P Diddy Combs and a lot of the other individuals before him that did some really awful, sinister stuff to some of the most innocent people in our society. What's really going on here? What's the big revelation? Well, we're going to be talking about that, plus a lot more, all here on this independent media broadcast. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing, you could get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. Atlas, couch, please. Thank you so much. And other side, please. Thank you very much. As, of course, the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast was done by Afroman with their remix that was just released by Based Records, titled Hunter Got High, with some very interesting lyrics about bleaching hard drives, the Clintons, the Chi-Coms, you name it. This is a brilliant remix. As of course, we only played you a small clip of this video. If you want to watch the full video, it's trending right now on YouTube Music. If you want to watch the full video, the link is going to be in our description. Go check it out, as of course, it is definitely worth listening to, as music and culture like this is absolutely key in an ever so divisive and destructive world that is filled with a lot of instability from politicians that routinely sell out their local populations. This, as of course, that perfectly represents what happened in Haiti, where, of course, politicians sold a lot of their resources, sold a lot of their influence over to the Clintons, and were given pennies on the dollars for the Clintons to be as prominent and as powerful as they are today. This, as there's still a lot of violence unfolding right now all throughout the Haitian countryside, where a lot of gang members are fighting government officials, as the FBI's most wanted criminals are literally claiming that they're liberating the country, and with the levels of corruption there, they make a solid case. As the nation has been fully destabilized and will continue to deal with significant pressures as time goes on. All of this, as you know, putting all of your hopes and responsibilities to elected government officials isn't the best idea, as of course decentralizing power keeps everyone safer and usually a lot happier and more prosperous, as politicians are usually up to some really absolutely horrible, awful things. We're going to be talking about that in just a little bit, specifically with how it connects to P. Diddy. This as governments are collapsing all over the place, including Scotland, where a coalition government is left in chaos after the departure of their first ruling pro-independence party. As in Europe, there's a lot of instability, mainly because of larger population replacement efforts that now are being protested against in Ireland. This as there has been a massive protest against illegal immigration into the country of Ireland, as Irish communities are taking to the streets in a massive show of force, as local government officials in that country definitely have adopted many World Economic Forum policies that, of course, don't really work out for the local populations, as the government of Ireland has implemented a lot of weird rules and laws, specifically going up against the local population, especially farmers, while, of course, incentivizing what extensively is a larger population replacement that has led to some chaos in the region. This as local government and police forces are being accused of going to people's property and assaulting them in order to try to repress a lot of these larger protest efforts, as there's a literal tent city outside of asylum processing centers in Ireland, as the United Kingdom is rejecting the moving of these individuals, as more people are protesting against them, including even Conor McGregor, who responded to the British Prime Minister, who said he's not interested in pursuing a deal with Dublin on returning asylum seekers from Ireland to the UK, by saying, quote, "We have human worms in position of power. It is closing in on the time to activate officially. We have long been ready, in fact, for we are born for this. Let's go Ireland." A message released to 10.4 million followers on the official Conor McGregor Notorious MMA Twitter account that surely is going to be reaching a lot of people. This as politicians are also being replaced, and clearly there's going to be a lot more tumultuous situations unfolding inside of Europe, where it definitely does look like there might be a potential larger clash of civilizations. And that's one thing out of many things that we, of course, warn about on Unfiltered.com, our own quasi-secret, not-so-secret society of individuals coming together from all over the world and doing cool things like nature hikes, which we just did in Austin, Texas, and soon we'll be doing all over the United States and even potentially the country. As of course, this nature hike was really awesome. It was really fun. A lot of people participated in it, and it was an incredible amount of fun. So many people from so many different walks of life came out and participated in it, and we definitely had a lot of fun with like 60 plus people. It was incredible. It was awesome, and the stories and people who traveled all over the place and the conversations that were had here, the networking that happened was all facilitated by you guys signing up to LukeUnfiltered.com. As of course, you get a special behind the scenes look at this nature hike right now, and that video is available just for members, as well as 3 master classes, forum, seed oil cards, members only store, significant discounts, free tickets to events, you name it, we got it, all available on LukeUnfiltered.com, where of course you could also be a part of the conversation by being a member with our podcast episode that we are going to be releasing later on today, 6 p.m. Eastern, on this YouTube channel with author Pavlovsky, a huge, incredible individual from Canada that's going to be joining us here in studio, talking about a lot of the extraordinary stories of what he had to go through inside of the not-so-free state above us. You could talk to author just by simply signing up, going to the Telegram channel, and calling in to today's 2-hour live podcast that begins in just a few hours here on this particular YouTube channel. Click the subscribe button, click the notification button, and maybe they'll show you, as of course we like to talk about spicy hot button issues, like of course the larger potential bigger questions surrounding what's really happening at some of the most powerful institutions and industries in the world. This, as we get some really interesting information surrounding Sean P Diddy Combs, as it looks like a lot of people in the corporate media kind of lost interest or not really paying attention to the story, as today we are finding out from In Touch Weekly that one of Sean P Diddy Combs' former bodyguards is coming out and claiming that it's not just individuals like Justin Bieber and Usher that there might be compromise or some really awful activities that were conducted with Sean P. Diddy Combs with, but also politicians that could be potentially involved in a lot of the backroom, crazy, insane, weird, freaky, deprived, degenerate parties that, according to some sources, have been videotaped and used for larger extortion purposes. There's a new documentary about Sean P. Diddy Combs called The Downfall of Diddy, where his former bodyguard allegedly claims that it's not just people in the music industry who are nervous about being seen on the videotapes that authorities now have, but allegedly also politicians who, quote, are in there. As he's describing a situation where there's, quote, princes in there, there's preachers in there, and of course, not just celebrities, but politicians. As executive producer Charles Landerbittery also came out and said that P. Diddy, quote, obsessed with recording everything that went on in his home. A very similar situation that, of course, happened to Mr. Epstein that also conducted very similar parties. had a lot of very prominent politicians, celebrities, and even princes at his home, while secretly setting up surveillance cameras in every part of his home that were later videotaped, put into safes, and then confiscated by the FBI, as the tapes already conveniently were labeled by the FBI before being confiscated by the FBI, according to some sources, as those tapes of all those prominent individuals have just gone missing. They don't know what happened to the videotapes, the photos, and the hard drive evidence of a lot of the most powerful, most prominent people in our society doing what could only be described as the hanky-panky. Getting it on, sometimes with adults, sometimes with children that look like they were adults, and sometimes just children in general, as of course it's important to note here that what happened with Mr. Epstein involved a lot of very small underage children. This, as we also have accounts from individuals like Usher and Justin Bieber, that they were taken in as children by P. Diddy, and then were, of course, partying with him. As a lot of people described that during these parties, there was secret after parties, and of course, very depraved, degenerate behavior that happened behind the scenes with a lot of prominent individuals that might have not known that this larger party was used as a larger compromise extortion operation that could be used to, of course, extort pressure on these individuals in the future. As a lot of celebrities and rappers keep talking about situations where they are drugged, they had situations where they were taken advantage of in a very inappropriate way. Those events being taped and then, of course, highlighted during situations like contract negotiations. Something that, of course, would make sense as this industry is filled with a lot of very seedy, horrible individuals and predators that do prey on a lot of new people coming into the industry as they are promised fame, glory, and a ton of money if they just do what they're told, bow down, and accept their obedience to what could only be described as larger kind of demonic entities. That last part was a little bit of an extrapolation on my part here, as of course, a lot of celebrities and a lot of musicians do keep talking about how there's a devil inside of the music industry and a soul that they have to sell in order to, of course, make it in this industry. This, as we know, that there were drugs involved here, as, of course, P. Diddy Combs' alleged drug mule is being charged and prosecuted in this entire case as well, as a lot of people now have some serious questions about what was on these tapes. What were people looking out here for? What are they worried about coming out? As, of course, it's probably very safe to say that these tapes are probably in the possessions of the FBI that conducted raids on P. Diddy's homes and probably confiscated them and might be using them for their own kind of larger, sinister extortion purposes in the future. As, of course, the FBI, especially with their start with J. Edgar Hoover, have a long history of doing this themselves, as there was a lot of compromise information on a lot of politicians that were being extorted through the literal Federal Bureau of Investigations. Now, Sean P. Diddy Combs is filing a motion to dismiss a lot of the charges against him. He does say that he is innocent, as he's facing a lot of civil lawsuits and also federal investigations, as Aubrey O'Day is coming out and claiming that P. Diddy, quote, wanted to silence her by trying to buy out her publishing rights. As, of course, Sean P. Diddy Combs is known to have a lot of interpersonal drama with a lot of other celebrities and musicians that, of course, were at odds with him. The most prominent of which is 50 Cent, who talked about Sean P. Diddy Combs doing some really weird, awful kind of stuff that 50 Cent usually poked fun at. This, as it's also very interesting to know that the man who ran the prosecution against Ghislaine Maxwell is the same one doing the same for this case surrounding Sean P. Diddy Combs. This, as a lot of people are saying that this is just a coincidence here, as of course some people are saying it might not be, as, of course, the FBI's involvement here, as the FBI ignored Jeffrey Epstein ever since the 1990s, as victims were coming to them, saying that he was doing a lot of really awful things to children who were only ignored by the FBI that continues to ignore some of their victims. As very interestingly, the FBI just settled a $139 million settlement for their botched investigation regarding Larry Nassar, the former USA gymnast doctor that under the watchful eye of the FBI was allowed to hurt children, even though the FBI knew that he was routinely abusing and hurting those small children all around him. This definitely looks like the FBI is less interested in resolving the case surrounding the victims of Mr. Epstein, as this settlement highlights some clear wrongdoing by the Federal Bureau of Investigations, who, through this settlement, partly kind of agree that they failed to do their job, failed to protect the children involved here when it came to the larger predator that Larry NASCAR was, with the larger aggressive and destructive actions that he was taking up against the hundreds of victims that were hurt by him that could have been prevented if the FBI was just doing their job. Now, this settlement is a major deal, as it opens up the door for a larger potential settlement with the victims of Jeffrey Epstein, as, of course, literally, in the 1990s, children were coming to the FBI and saying, hey, this guy's doing this awful stuff. The FBI literally just, well, not literally, but figuratively looked the other way, as a lot of people believe that the federal government was involved here, and there is an overwhelming amount of circumstantial and even direct evidence highlighting that they actually were, as thousands of children were victimized here, all with the most powerful institutions in our society, whether it was the banking industry, whether it was Hollywood, whether it was the politicians in Washington, D.C., or even local police officers. They all failed the thousands of children that were hurt here by some of the most disgusting, predatory individuals in our modern day society that, of course, took advantage of them. Now, the question is, why did they take advantage of them? Well, extortion is a very powerful political tool, and it is absolutely used more and more the higher you go in the power structures of our society. I think it's pretty clear that that's exactly what's happening. And if you agree with that, share this video with your friends and family members, as it's important to get the word out about this, because our knowledge, our understanding of it provides some kind of accountability, provides some kind of transparency here, provides some kind of recourse here that if enough people wake up to, could stop. I think that potential is there. The truth is extremely powerful. And if you agree, get this video out there to your friends and family members. We got more videos coming your way to members of LukeUnfiltered.com out right now, just for members, all exclusively on LukeUnfiltered.com. Go check out this video. We did an 18-minute video highlighting some really cool, awesome conversations and individuals that came out from all over the world. There was someone that literally came from Canada just to be a part of this hike. Again, I am incredibly humbled. We're going to be announcing new hike dates very soon, and I wouldn't be able to do any of this if it wasn't for your support, and this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.